to number 1, and from a dollar bin, obviously, I had to grab it. Alright, well, I have a short box of comics. Welcome to today's video, and welcome to my page. I am the Dollar Bin Diver, and as my name suggests, I primarily hunt for comic books in dollar bins, 50-cent bins, and really any kind of discount bin. Today I have a short box of comics from dollar bins that I got to hunt through on Free Comic Book Day. If you saw my Free Comic Book Day haul video, I was able to grab some of those awesome free comics that day, going to a couple different places, but one comic shop in particular, I'm gonna put up some of their graphics, some of their information here so you can see. These guys put out 30 plus long boxes of dollar comics, and they had some awesome stuff in there. Alright, I may go a little quicker today, but let's see if we can get through this short box in one video. I'm going to start off here with Supervillain Team Up, issue number 16. It's a nice little 40 center there. It's a run that I actually don't come across very often, especially in the dollar bins, so of course I had to grab it. Moving on, and I might go roughly alphabetical, right? So let's start with Avengers, issue 194. Awesome. I guess that's an 80s comic there, right? Let's see, ever wonder what the Avengers do on their day off? See for yourself in interlude. Alright, well, a fun read still, I imagine. Alright, and as you can tell, many of these were not bagged or boarded, so I will be putting them in bags and boards probably immediately after this video. But here I have issue 229, The Evil of Egghead. Alright, let's adjust that a little bit. Here we have issue 337, Blasted by the Brethren. The Collection Obsession, Part 4. This is actually the issue of that little storyline that I was missing. And kind of bouncing around a little bit. Here's issue 234, Season of the Witch. Very cool Scarlet Witch cover there. And a new stand. Okay, back in the 300s. Here's issue 355, Come the Gatherers. That's cool. Okay, now moving on to West Coast Avengers. Here we have issue number 38. I'm not collecting West Coast Avengers as aggressively, but when I find some cool issues in the dollar bins that I'm missing, I tend to grab them. And there's a good chunk of these that you will find in the dollar bin. Here we have a new stand, issue number 29. What is this? Moon Knight Fights Alone. Very cool. And as you may see later in this video, I was able to find a really good chunk of Moon Knight this day. Okay, here we have issue number 37. And this mystery woman is about to make her matters worse. Oh, the team is torn apart, and this mystery woman is about to make the matters worse. Alright, well, interesting, and it was filling in a gap for me. Here we have issue 93. What is this? U.S. Agent, Spider-Woman, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, and guest starring everyone's favorite 90s character, Darkhawk. I actually am really close to having my Darkhawk run completed and quite excited for that. Alright, looks like my Avengers got a little mixed up. Here we have, back into the main run of Avengers, awesome iconic cover there with Ant-Man on Hawkeye's arrow, obviously. But this is issue 223. And in the dollar bin, of course. Here we have issue, was it 402? A little later. This is from 96. This is Onslaught Impact 2. I don't know as much on every piece that goes into the Onslaught event, but I have been finding myself collecting quite a few issues from that event, so very cool. And the art style is actually kind of neat there. Alright, here we have issue 343. I don't know what exactly is going on. It can't be. Not you. You're dead. Dead. I guess not. Alright, jumping in later into it. Here we have issue 493, Lionheart of Avalon, part 2 of 5. I have a glare there, so let's adjust that. This was this Lionheart of Avalon story, I guess. This might have been the only issue I was missing, so that was kind of cool. Here we have, from Busiek's portion of the run, issue 471. I believe this is where it goes from individual titled, or like individual numbering, back into the legacy numbering by Busiek, but I may be wrong on that. But either way, cool cover, and hopefully a fun story. Alright, well, my West Coast Avenger got lost. Here we have issue 43, so somewhat alphabetical, I guess, right? This is Vision Quest Continues. Very cool, and a newsstand. Okay, my last couple Avengers comics. Here we have issue 298, Edwin Jarvis, The Last Avenger, and I guess this Inferno continues in this issue. Alright, issue 348. Was that a Golden Vision? I'm not sure there. I haven't read this, so I guess I'll be adding that in there, and I should have a good portion of the issues around it, so. Alright, here we have issue 308. The life of an Eternal hangs by a thread, and only one being on Earth has the power to save Gilgamesh. Now this might actually be a duplicate for me, but I was going through so many comics that day that one or two duplicates might have slipped the cracks on me. And I believe this is actually one of the few issues I have been missing from this little run of comics. Issue 259, On the Side of the Scrolls. Very cool. I forget what all's going on with this storyline, but I like the cosmic kind of storylines we get with the Avengers there. Alright, I'm going to try to go into Captain America next without pulling these. Okay, these might be a little mixed up in numbering as well, but here we have issue 428 from that Fighting Chance, I guess, storyline. This is book 4 of it, and it was one of the few I was missing. Here we have issue 417, Terminated. Okay, jumping back into issue 297, and this I believe is a duplicate for me, but what is this, a 1980s Captain America for $1? I figured I would grab it. Now I did not realize how much of a reader this issue was, but here we have issue 265, and since it's not bagged and boarded, you can really see, oh man, that cover is torn. But it is filling a gap for me there. Issue 265, what is this? Introducing Cap Stellis Foyet, the Sultan. And it's a newsstand, so I guess that's cool. Here we have, still a kind of a reader, but not quite as bad a condition, issue 242 from 1979. Looks like we have a good amount of the crew here. Was this the Avengers trying to capture Cap? Vision coming through the wall, Thor ready to swing his hammer, Iron Man getting beat by the shield. Alright, so issue 342, A Viper in Our Midst, and it's a newsstand. Trying to move on a little quicker because I know I have quite a few today. Here we have issue 433. This is a part of that Fighting Chance event as well. This is book 9 of that event, or that storyline, if you may. Okay, here I have an annual. This is the 6th annual, I guess, for this run of Captain America. 4 men, 1 legend, Captain America. Today, all 4 put the legend to the test. Interesting. That should be a fun little read, actually. Alright, here we have issue 303 and a cocky cap at it. Okay, Betrock, you can have one free shot at me. Goodness. Alright, let's move on. Issue 414. What is this? Guest starring Kazar and Black Panther. Action in the Savage Land. Okay, continuing on. Here we have from Jurgen's run, legacy number of issue 510. And I am bouncing all around here. I got to loosely sort these by title, but not numerically yet. So yeah, 315. The Serpent Societies finally got Captain America where we want him. We'll see. Here we have issue 322. A very cool cover there in the snowy battle. Moving on to issue 339. Fall of the Mutants tie-in. Looks like U.S. Agent there on the cover. Very cool. I know U.S. Agent doesn't get the most love, but I still enjoy that character, and it's a newsstand. Right, another newsstand here with issue 346. From the pages of X-Men comes Freedom Force Ambush. Alright, back into an older Captain America. This one definitely in better condition than those others. A newsstand, obviously. Here we have issue 265. Oh, this is a duplicate for me. And this is in better condition than the other one. Alright, well, I'll take it for sure. Okay, moving on to the Defenders. Here we have issue 87, and it's a newsstand. Inquest. I'm not for sure on that, but I do know I've collected a good chunk of the Defenders here lately. I know it turns into the new Defenders later on in the run, around issue 115 area, I think, and goes to almost issue 150. And I hate to say that I might have almost half of the run collected here lately, but I have gotten a good chunk. As you will see, I have several here, including issue 94 as a newsstand. It looks like. Can even the combined might of the Defenders overcome the new demonic Hellcat? Very cool. Alright, moving on to issue 97. What is this? Menace of the Messiah. What's this? Devil Slayer didn't join the Defenders to fight angels? Some of the epic battles and the action that happens in this run of comics is quite intriguing. And of course, I believe these from the 80s, so the stories are a little more, how do I put it, better than what we get in the 90s and such. But the art style is what really grabs my attention. I don't know, I just enjoy it. I enjoyed it more. Some of the newer comics have some really good art, but it's just different. So, what is this? Now is the time, Defenders, for renewal. Okay. Now this one, a little rust and stuff there, a little staining. Actually, could probably clean that up. This is issue 103, The Haunting. Right. Just after that is 105, Cold as Crystal, Hot as Hellfire. I like that. Here we are, issue 110. Devil Slayer fights for his very soul. Do not miss. Hunger. I actually don't know as much about that character, so I'm excited to jump into that read. And having some consecutive issues makes it easier for me to jump into it. What is this? To the Devil, a Daughter. And looks like most of these have been newsstands so far. Here we have issue 116. These actually have numerically ordered. Alright, is it Damian Hellstrom there maybe on the cover? Very cool. Alright, here we have, and again, issue 118, and this is, I guess, the first direct on these so far. Continuing on though, here we have issue 122. I don't know what's going on there right off, but very cool cover. Again, I just enjoy that art style. Moving on to issue 123, another newsstand. And lastly, Sergeant Fury, and it's Howling Defenders. Very cool. Alright, I feel like I need to pull these off the table and create some room for the next part. Let's see. And I'm going to put a comic there to give me a little support. Here we have issue 96 of Marvel's Greatest Comics, starring the Fantastic Four. Or issue 96 there. This is a reprint title from, I believe it's from the 70s and 80s, that I've started collecting a lot more aggressively. As many of you may know, this reprints some of the early issues of Fantastic Four, and especially being a dollar bin diver, those are hard to come by, so I figure these are much easier to find in dollar bins, and I still get to enjoy those awesome stories in print. Alright, my numbering here will bounce around quite a bit. Here we have issue 581 by Hickman. Let this go by. 15 minutes I need to. Alright. Okay. From Hickman's run. I actually do know that I have this comic already. The day of, I did let it slip through the cracks, but that's just a cool cover. I don't know what exactly is going on, but just enjoy the colors and the contrasts, and I don't know. I just enjoy that. Alright. Here we have issue 265. What is this? Introducing the newest member of the Fantastic Four. And you can guess who that might be. Here we have, oh, and I did not realize how rough this comic was and chewed on the day of, but it is a early 200s, issue 223 from 1980. So I guess I did expect some defects to be present, and the story should be intact for the most part there. So I'll still read it. What is this? Showdown with Salem 7. Interesting. Alright, here we have issue 242. He's back. T-Rex the Untamed. What is this? Guest starring, oh my goodness, the Mighty Thor, the Amazing Spider-Man, the Invincible Iron Man, and Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. Well, that's quite a cast right there. Quite the crew. So I'm quite intrigued on that one. And of course, I have not had the opportunity to read these just yet. Here we go. That's what I get for not bagging and boarding before I start recording. Alright, issue 303, as you see. I have actually probably a good chunk of that run, that part of the run now, including issue 322. Let's see, Inferno continues in this run. The Human Torch alone against the crushing power of Graviton. And this actually came with an extra, it looks like, issue 323. And this is the King the Conqueror cover. Very cool. What is this? Guest starring the enigmatic Mantis. Okay. Later in that run, here we have issue 362. So, very cool. Looks like we have a Spider-Man appearance. And this actually had another comic in the back of it. And that is issue 363. What is this? Power within this whelp must belong to Oculus, the Unforgiven. Very cool. Trying to take Franklin, it looks like. Alright. Very cool Doctor Doom cover there. I think I've mentioned prior. Is there a Doctor Doom cover that isn't cool? Newsstand there. And you know what? I'm going to switch gears for just a second, and I'm going to do my bourbon of choice. Today, I'm actually going to show off, well, this is my decanter. This, you can tell I've drank some of it here recently, and I've been really enjoying it. It actually is just a cheap Kentucky Gentleman, and as you tell, has a bourbon bullet in there, and has been in there for quite quite a while now and has changed the flavor quite dramatically. I'm gonna do just a little sample there. Okay. Gotta savor that last drop, right? I'm gonna set that right there. Now, just a little sample. We're in a hurry, right? We got a lot of comics. A nice dark color, actually. And so, what's been really neat about this, there's still some oaky sense to it, but the cherry has really come out, and some other baking spices, I guess you may. To me, this almost smells like Dr. Pepper. Alright, a little sample. And honestly, the cherry comes out, some of those spices come out, and really, Dr. Pepper, like, man, it's a nice, complex bourbon. It's really sweet. That's what surprised me. That bourbon bullet has really added some flavor to it. All right. Since I have so many comics today, we'll not talk on the bourbon as much. I may just continue sipping on it. Here we have, though, switching over to the Incredible Hulk. I actually do not collect Incredible Hulk as much, but this was a really cool cover. Issue 321, Deathmatch. So I could not pass it up. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been looking at this Onslaught, and here we have Onslaught Impact 1, so I figured, why not? I bet it ties into a bunch of these other Onslaught issues. And this countdown, I actually have 2 of the other issues in that, I guess, storyline, and I figured, why not grab it? And this is part 1, so maybe I can just jump into that part 1 and then go from there. Now, a Marvel Superheroes featuring the Hulk. Senses-shattering origin issue. I think we all know the origin by now, but I thought it was really cool if it's reprinting that early story of Hulk. And since it's not bagged and boarded, I figured we could look in here together, and let's see, what does it say? Panoramically presents the pulse pounding premiere. Very cool. Sometimes these will say what issue they originally reprinted, and sometimes I have trouble finding it. Here we go. Originally presented in Hulk 102. Very cool. Alright. Okay, moving on to Iron Man. The Invincible Iron Man, issue 332. And back to the Onslaught Impact 2. So I'm actually I collected a good chunk of that event, I guess, this day as well, which is very nice. And I want to say I had this issue, but it was not marked, so I figured, why not grab it just in case for $1 or less. This is part, looks like 3 of 6 of this Hands of Mandarin crossover, and it crosses over with, well, as you see there, ForceWorks and War Machine. I know I have the ForceWorks issues, and I believe I actually have War Machines as well. This might have been the only one I was missing. Alright, continuing on though with Iron Man, here we have issue 41 from that story, but issue 386 in the Legacy. Okay, and Shining Iron. I believe this was this by Mike Grell, and I really enjoy the covers of these. I don't know if the story is any good, but I figured I already have 1 or 2 of those, and I would go ahead and try to grab the rest of them. Why not? Especially for $1. Now, it's kind of cool. I was able to find a couple 100s. So here we have issue 146. Vengeance belongs to Blacklash. I don't know about that character right off, but for me it's always cool finding 100s Iron Mans in the dollar bins. What is this? They capture the woman he loves. He's vowed to get her back, and nobody can stop him. The Caribbean Connection. And it looks to be a newsstand. Very cool. Alright, moving on over to Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. I actually found several of these, which was a pleasant surprise. These have been more and more difficult to find since, Shang-Chi came out as a movie. But again, when I find these in dollar bins, I still grab them. This is issue 85 from 79, I believe. And here we have issue 76. A little more beat up, but still, Battle on the Waterfront. Okay. Moving on with issue 96. These might be roughly numerical. I'm not for sure. I probably have them all out of whack. What is this? More kung fu action and thrills than ever before. And for me, I actually have trained in kung fu for almost 20 years. So these are fun comics for me just in that aspect. So, all right, here we have issue 112. A little corner bin there. Let's see if we can straighten that out. And this is actually my first direct of these. Interesting. The rest of these have been newsstands. Okay, and here we have 1981. This is issue 110. What is this? Perilous Reign. Yeah, so for me the kung fu fighting action in these comics is a lot of fun. And I'm going to adjust the angle of this. Maybe I can get one more on there before I need to slide them over. Here we have issue number 98, Fight to the Finish. So yep, my numbering is a little all over. I'm going to go ahead and slide these over though. And I will continue with 99. What is this? Death Boat. Oh goodness. Alright. And issue 104. Another newsstand there. Fight Without Reason. Featuring Return of Cat. Oops. Here we have issue 114. And to finish up this run of Master of Kung Fu from today's haul, here's issue 110. Another another copy of that. I did not realize, but you know what? Why not? For $1 each. And this one is a little more beat up, so I do have a good copy for my collection, and I have a good reader there. Alright. Now I'm going to move on to another run that I was really impressed to find a good chunk of. And I don't know if my ordering is going to be correct or not. Let's see what I can do here. Alright, I'm going to start off with issue number 6 of Mark Spector, Moon Knight. Of course, since the show, these have been more difficult to find in dollar bins and stuff, but since it was announced, I guess since the show has came out, we're finding these more and more again. And for me, I actually want to try to complete this Mark Spector run to give it a good read. Okay, I was able to find issue 7, as well as issue number 8, guest starring the Punisher. And issue number 9, very cool consecutive run of comics here. And another side by side with the Punisher. And issue number 10, so very cool. 6 through 10 there, good consecutive run. I don't think I have issues 1 through 5, so I'll be on the hunt for them still. Slide these over because I do have more. Oh, let's go with, I can actually sort these real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, I have issue number 11 as well. So, 6 through 11, Stalked by Arsenal. Alright, now we jump forward a little bit to issue number 18. So I'm gonna miss the trial of Mark Spector, part 1 through 3, starting with part 4 here. And then we jump into issue number 19. I actually am a sucker for these kind of covers from the 90s, showing up, crossing over with Spidey and Punisher, and Dark Hawk might have been in some of those Spidey crossovers, and I'm a big fan of the covers. Alright, jumping on forward, here we have issue 29. And that's a cool cover. Issue 30. And I let one slip through still. Here we have, backtracking to issue number 24. They put him on trial, tried to take his life, and now it's payback time. Alright, so that's a really good chunk of that Mark Spector Moon Knight run that I've been excited to grab. And how about I go ahead and pull these off to the side and make some room for the next stack. Okay, now another run that I have kind of been surprised how many I have found in dollar bins here recently. Here we have Power Man and Iron Fist. This is issue number 75, and it was a 75 center. Alright, so my numbering is going to be all over the place. Oh, well, that's interesting. This is issue 102, and it's a 60 center. It's a newsstand. Well, that's neat. Alright, so I'm going to try to push through these a little quicker. Here we have issue 105, as well as 107. I've not got to read these yet, so I don't know if there's any key significance or anything of that sort with them. I just like the fact that I've been able to grab quite a few and got a few little consecutive runs of issues. Moving on, here we have issue 116. Oh, that's cool. It is dark and it is lonely, and they are freezing to death. Except it looks like Iron Fist is trying to use his chi to keep himself warm. Alright, and lastly, I have issue 117. Very cool cover there. Looks like Iron Fist is about to have the upper hand, if you may. Okay, a little mix of newsstands and directs. Alright, it looks like I have a few X-Men here. So, actually, yes. Or, here we have Uncanny X-Men, issue 336. This is Onslaught Phase 2, and neat enough, I was able to find X-Men issue 56, which is also on that Onslaught Phase 2 storyline, and then Wolverine. I think these were all kind of grouped together in that bin, so obviously I grabbed them knowing that they're going to be in a continuing of the story. So, alright, moving on though to X-Men Classic. These were filling in some gaps for me. Issue number 66, number 58. And I know a lot of these will kind of reprint or retell some of the older storylines. And I have not looked through to see which ones correspond with which issues right off. I'm a completionist, and I'm trying to complete this run before I jump into reading them all. Okay, jumping around a little bit. There's issue 457. And I'm almost doing a countdown, but I'm still bouncing around. Here we have issue 49, and now Doctor Doom. Again, every Doctor Doom cover is an awesome cover, right? Alright, issue 50. Not sure what all is going on there, but they're cool cover. Okay, here we have issue 48. As you can see, I grabbed some consecutive issues, but they were, for the most part, filling in gaps for me. This was probably one of my favorites, the Dark Phoenix Saga. This is issue 43. Reprint some of those, some of the original Dark Phoenix storyline, obviously. That one, I know, is one of the fan favorite storylines in X-Men of all time, so I'm excited to read it in this. Jumping over though, here we have Fallen Sun, The Death of Captain America. And this is the Captain America issue. This is one of the few I was missing from that, so very cool. Okay, and I'm bouncing around on titles a little bit, but here we have Marvel Team Up featuring Spider-Man and Wonder Man. It's issue 78 from that run, and that was the only of that run I was able to find that day. Here we have Web of Spider-Man, issue 71. What is this? Can even Spider-Man help Dominic Fortune against his greatest challenge? Part 1 of 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's another Marvel team-up, Spider-Man and Nomad. Nomad is one of those, kind of random characters, but I've enjoyed reading on him so far. I've got his run from the 90s completed, and I've started on. I don't know. It doesn't get as much love maybe as I've given it. Here we have, and I think this is my last of the Marvel team up from that day, Spider-Man and the Beast. This is issue 124 from that run. Okay, jumping over, this might have been my only Amazing Spider-Man issue from that day. This is a part of the Assassination Plot, part 2 of 6. I do believe I have this issue already, but it was a really rough reader copy, so grabbing this was a really pleasant find. If we can upgrade our readers to mid grades, of course we're going to, especially for $1. Here we have Silver Surfer. Well, kind of center these a little better. I don't know. Here we go. Issue number 80. It had to happen. Morgue versus Terrax. Very cool. Here we have issue 92, and I am going to be jumping around with my numbering. Here we have issue 61 versus the Collection Agency. These were filling in some gaps for me, which is very nice. Here we have issue 42, a very cosmic cover there, if you may. Issue 62. Alright, and I have issue 41, Job Hunting. Oh my goodness. Alright, here we have issue 64. What is this? My Enemy, Myself. Alright, and then a little later in the run, here we have issue 110, Reborn. Okay. Oh, I'm actually going to be jumping around a little bit again. I got a little mixed up on some of these, but before I move on from Silver Surfer, here we have Fantasy Masterpieces starring the Silver Surfer. To Steal the Surfer's Soul, plus Adam Warlock trapped on the Death Ship. Now, the Fantasy Masterpiece is another one of these reprint titles, and since they're not bagged or boarded, I'm going to take advantage and show off that this was originally presented in Silver Surfer issue number 9 from 1969. So for me, it's always cool finding these early stories in print, and I was able to find one other, that being issue number 13 from that run from 1980. And let's see what issue this one was as well. This looks to be issue, here we go, oh wow, originally presented in Silver Surfer number 13 from 1970. Dawn of the Doomsday Man. Very cool. I'm a sucker for some of those older comics like that. And one more reprint title. Here we have Tales to Astonish, starring the Submariner. And it's a newsstand, obviously, from 1980. And I figured, why not? Here we are, originally presented in Submariner number 10 from 1969. Never Bother a Barracuda. Alright, and that's issue number 10 from this Tales to Astonish. Now, I got a little mixed up on my Spider-Man titles there for a bit. So let's jump back over to Web of Spider-Man. This is issue number 78. Cloak and Dagger joins Spider-Man 4A, Final Showdown with Firebrand. Very cool. Excited to jump into that. Now, issue 92, At the Mercy of Foreigner's Forces. Okay, and then I did actually have a couple other Marvel team-ups, pleasantly. Here we have Spider-Man and Nighthawk. The Spectres of the 60s are back. Very cool. And I believe this may be the last of the Marvel team-ups. I guess we'll have to see if any more just pop up randomly. But here we have Spider-Man and the Dazzler. And it's a newsstand. Very nice. Okay. Jumping on over into Guardians of the Galaxy from the 90s run. This is issue 39. What is this? She was looking for her ancestor Wolverine. She found more than she bargained for. Rancor versus Dr. Doom. Very cool. And of course, nice shiny 90s comic there. Alright, and then after that we had issue number 40. What is this? You Will All Die versus Composite, the deadliest inhuman of all. Alright, I have a few others from this run that was filling in some gaps for me. Issue number 46, The Living Death of Major Victory. Interesting. And issue 52, Charlie 27 Alone, Unarmed, in Prison. Okay, and the last one I had today, issue number 53. What is this? The Battle of the Year, Drax the Destroyer versus the Irish Wolfhound. Very fun. Alright, let's throw in Heroes for Hire. I'm actually just missing one more issue from this run of Heroes for Hire. For me, the art style is just fun. Some of my favorite characters. Not a very crazy or difficult read, why not? But guest starring Wolverine and Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. This is issue 18 from that run, and maybe in the completionist I will grab that last issue before I read the whole run, so I'm excited for that though. Here we have The Mighty Thor, Lord of Asgard, issue 555 from Jurgen's run, as well as 551. Very cool cover there. Alright, let me pull these off the table, and then I'll jump into the rest of these. There we go. Okay, I'm going to continue with The Mighty Thor, issue 542. Let's angle to get that glare off. From Jurgen's run. And then I'm going to jump back to 419, The Black Galaxy Saga, Part 1, The Summons. I'm slowly collecting this Black Galaxy Saga, storyline, as well as finding issue 420. So 2 consecutive issues there in the same bag, working on the same story. Warms my soul. Alright, so let's move on though to another title, and that will be Marvel Super Action, starring Avengers. This is issue number 37 from that run, and this issue is from 1981. And let's continue taking advantage of these being open. Okay, and I'll go ahead and show off here. What is this? The Blaze of Battle, The Flames of Love. Originally presented in Avengers number 76 from 1970. Very cool. Okay. I was also able to find issue 28 from that run of Marvel Super Action. Die, Avengers Die. Of course, an Ultron story. Here we are. Stan Lee presents The Mighty Avengers, We Stand at Armageddon. Let's see. Where does it say what it reprints? Here we are. Okay, I'm going to have to turn it sideways. Originally presented in Avengers number 67 from 1969. Very cool. Again, I'm a sucker for these older stories, even if they're reprinted. Okay, talking about some newer stuff though. Here we have Uncanny Avengers Annual from Rick Remender's run. I actually have a good chunk of this run, but I have not completed it yet. I thought this was an awesome cover and would go right along with that run. Okay, here's another reprint, a newer reprint that is, but this is of New Mutants number 98, if you didn't know. This reprints the first appearance of Deadpool. Here we are, let's move on to Quasar, issue number 54. Finishing off with a couple random titles of issues that I was missing. This is Night Thrasher, issue number 10. Supposedly I did not have this, at least I did not have it marked in my inventory. But it's guest starring Iron Man, and I should just only have one other issue from that run now. I believe it's only 18 or 20 issues, but still. Okay, I already had this issue, but it's a number 1. Warlock and the Infinity Watch, issue number 1. Aftermath of the Infinity Gauntlet. Very cool. Alright, this was cool for me. long-awaited limited series is here, Hawkeye. It's a 4-issue limited series, and for the longest time, I kept finding issues 2 and 3. So I finally found issue number 1 in a newsstand, as well as issue number 4 to complete that mini run for me. So that's quite exciting. Now once I bag and board them, we'll go into my completed box and be up to read. Here we have The Secret Defenders, issue number 23. Of course, this is another run from the 90s. I believe there were only 20-something issues, maybe a little more. I have a good chunk of it collected already, but I was missing this issue, as well as issue number 17, with that awesome version of Doctor Strange, as well as Deadpool there. Very fun. Alright, now here's a run that probably nobody else is collecting. This is Night Watch, issue number 10. Of course, this was a character from the 90s. I believe was in The Amazing Spider-Man originally, and then got his own run there for a bit. So I have a good chunk of the first dozen issues of it. Okay, jumping into something a little older, I believe from 1979, Marvel Spotlight on Captain Marvel. Duel Through the Dimensions. Okay, jumping around a little more, here we have Marvel Superheroes, the Spring Special. It's a weird little thing, right? But I actually have the other seasonal specials, and I believe this is the one I was missing. So, and of course, another cool Moon Knight cover there. Okay, getting near the end though, here we have The Eternals, that 12-issue limited run, issue number 2 that I was missing. So I actually have a good chunk of it completed already, mostly from dollar bins, which is very nice. Alright, Namor the Submariner. This is one of those runs that when I got back into collecting comics, about 3 years ago I guess, I started finding these in the dollar bins everywhere. So I started grabbing them and trying to complete this run. Now I'm missing, I believe, just 2 issues. I'll have to remember which issues that is right off. They're actually near the end of the run. So here we have though issue number 42 and issue number 62. So I'm excited to have that completed. I know the MCU took Namor in a slightly different direction as far as appearance and backstory and all, but I'm still enjoying it, and I'm enjoying this run of Namor. Okay, this issue I already had, but it was funny. In almost 3 years, I've been looking for this issue number 4 because I found issues 1 through 3 in like the first week of getting back into collecting comics, and then had not seen this in dollar bins for almost 3 years, and then I found it twice within a month. So of course I had to grab another one. Alright, here we have Cloak and Dagger, issue number 5 from their run, and this is actually one that I was missing, so of course I had to grab it. Now, what if we had a few more comics to go through? Here we have What If the Invisible Girl Had Died. It's issue number 42 from that run, as well as What If the Fantastic Five Fought Doctor Doom and Annihilus. Oh, Timequake, part 1 of 5. This is issue number 35 from that run. And here we have issue 33 from that run, What If Phoenix Rose Again. Okay, a newer comic or two here, and then we'll finish with a cool one. Here we have All New Invaders, issue number 7. This is from Robinson's run. I don't know why, but I've really enjoyed this run so far. I don't know. So I found this, was missing it, obviously grabbed it. Here we have Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, issue number 4. I am missing quite a few from the beginning of that run, so of course I grabbed it. Thanos, A God Up There Listening. I actually have come across the first 2 issues of this run, and when I saw issue 3 for $1, I figured why not grab it, and that way I have some good consecutive issues to read through and see how I feel about that story. Alright, and lastly, here we have Vision and the Scarlet Witch, Night of the Living Druid. This is part of their limited series. I believe it's 12 issues from 1982 it looks. It's a number 1, and from a dollar bin, obviously I had to grab it. Alright. Well, I have a short box of comics, so it's a bit too much to put the full stack up there. So I'm just going to go ahead and close here. I thank you for watching. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of this bourbon. Guys, please drink responsibly and enjoy your comics. Have a great day.